So, have you ever seen the television show called Intervention? If you haven't, have you at least knowledge of what an intervention is? In the show, just like in everyday life, a family comes together and they usually have a loved one in common that's a drug addict or an alcoholic. There are other types of addictions, but those are the main two. And what this family has come together to do out of love is discuss what they're going to do as far as a future plan goes with this loved one. Everything they've tried thus far no longer works. Loving them enough, giving them more money, taking them places in their car, letting them abuse their every privilege in your home. It's come to a head. They steal from you, they beat people up, they constantly commit crimes, petty crimes that put them in jail and you're bailing them out. They've even smacked you around and your sister, or their sister around, and their brother. And it's really hard for you because you love this person so terribly much, and they have hurt you so deeply, and yet you really can't stop loving them. It's an unconditional love. Well, these shows come to a head, and I guess the point comes where they sometimes just get that person in a room. Sometimes they have to actually trick them into getting into this room, but this room is full of these loved ones, and these loved ones read them letters and say how much they love them and how much they really want them to get help, to be freed from their addiction, and that they want the old person back, and that this new diseased addict person needs to kind of go away, you know. And through the guidance of people that set up interventions professionally, they're also told to give ultimatums, demands. For instance, son, if you don't go get help, I can no longer support you and let you live in my home and cause discord and discontent and violence and all the different things you bring in our door every day. It's not fair to me, it's not fair to your mom, it's not fair to your other siblings. Ask any parent that has actually been through this whether or not they still love their children when they make that ultimatum. They do. And it breaks their hearts when that child, even faced with that ultimatum, says, no, I don't care, I'll go live out on my own, I'll do whatever. I don't want to stop what I'm doing, and if that's your demand on me in order to live in your house, then I guess I just won't live there. That parent still loves that kid so much, and that parent is very, very brokenhearted if the kid makes that decision. And they still hope, and they probably still pray every day that that child, after a week or a month or a year or however long, that child will come back, get sober, get help, and come back. They want nothing more. Why do I bring all this up? Well, partially in response to my good friend Chuck, because he and I have had a dialogue lately about God's unconditional love, and this is really the best analogy I have to explain how God loves us unconditionally but still allows us, if we choose, to go our own way. You see, I don't believe God takes you and He picks you up by the scruff of your neck and casts you into the pits of hell because you didn't believe in Him. I believe He prays and hopes every day. I guess He doesn't pray because He's God, but He hopes every day that you'll come back to Him, that you'll come back into His homes, or His home with the sobriety of Christ. He offered a way for you to get clean and sober. He even paid for the help. You know, when we send our kids to day treatment or to hospital to get clean, we pay for it, and we make there a way to be help, and we financially, offer our responsibility for it, and that's what God's done for us. So I don't think you're casted anywhere, but I think you choose to live in hell. When a kid says, "No, Dad, I don't accept your terms. I'm going to go do my own thing," don't you know where they end up sleeping? In crack houses, under park benches. Every dime they have is going to be spent on drugs. It's not going to be spent on food or shelter. They've kind of basically chosen their own hell. So, while this is kind of a response to Chuck, I've noticed that several people that question Christianity, whether they're atheists or whether they have some spiritual background or interest, and they're just curious, the common question tends to go back to, why would a loving God have hell? Why would a loving God, if he has unconditional love, allow you to go there in the first place? Well, I think true love allows you to do whatever you want, and he's allowing you to do whatever you want. The problem is, there are consequences to your decisions. So maybe we're just mad at the consequences, not necessarily mad at God who created us. I still know that this isn't going to help everybody. I still know that people are going to call BS on this one. And I'm very burdened when people ask me this question, because I do have this issue reconciled within myself. And I know a lot of you don't. Maybe one more analogy, or pardon the pun, but parable. Maybe one more parable might help. I hope that it does. Till next time. Edge, sign.